Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. So the first of the short-term decision making that I'm going to explain to you is the limiting factor. So all businesses wish to produce and sell as much as they want. So they may not be able to do so. Why? Because the resources are limited. So your resources may be the material, could be the labor, the capital, etc. are scarce. So these factors are known as the limiting factor. Therefore, companies need to make choices between the between the various alternative. So they have to choose the scarce resources as profitable as possible. So profit will be maximized when the product makes maximum contribution per unit of the scarce resources. So let's look at an example. So a company produces three products, okay, and is reviewing the production and sales budget for the next accounting period. So the following information is available for all these three products. You have product X, Y, and Z. Okay, the contribution per unit for product X is 12, for product Y is 10, and for product Z is 6. And the machine hours required per unit is 6 hours, 2 and 1. While the estimated sales demand in units for product X is 200, for product Y is 200, and for product Z is also 200. And in order for you to produce X, you require 1,200 total machine hours. For product Y, you require 400, and product Z, you require 200. How do you get this? So if you are producing 200 units, and one unit requires 6 hours. So 6 times 200 gives you 1,200. And so that's product Y and product Z. So product Y, you require 2 hours per unit. If you produce 200 units, then you will require 400 machine hours. Okay, machine capacity is limited to 1,200 hours. So if you want to produce product X, you need 1,200 hours. Product Y 400 and product Z 200. So in total, you require 1,800 hours. Okay, to produce all these three products, you require 1,800 hours, but your machine capacity is only limited to 1,200 hours and is insufficient to meet your total sales demand. So you have been asked to advise as to which product should you produce during the period, okay, given the limited resources that you have. So how are you going to go about doing this? So let's look at the solution or the steps involved in solving the problem. So the first one is you need to determine which of the factors of production is the limiting factor. Okay, factor of production with a shortage is your limiting factor. So as we have looked just now, so you have three products, your X, Y, and Z. This is the machine hours required per unit. And this is your sales demand, 200 for all the three products. This is the total hours that you require to produce all the three products. So in total, you will require 1,800 hours. And given that the total hours available is only 1,200. Okay, therefore, you have a shortage of 600. Okay, 1,800 minus your 1,200 means you have a shortage of 600 hours. So, which product should you produce given the shortage of machine hours? So, step 2 is you need to determine the contribution per limiting factor. Next, you make your ranking. Okay. From here, you see product X. The contribution for product X is 12 ringgit per unit, and the hours per unit to produce X is 6 hours. So if you calculate the contribution per limiting factor, okay, the contribution per limiting factor, in this case, your machine hour. So contribution per machine hour will be 2. How do you get that? So your contribution per unit is 12 ringgit. And hours required to produce 1 unit of X is 6. Therefore, 12 divided by 6, you will get 2 hours. So your contribution will be RM2 ringgit per hour. You do the same thing for your Y and Z. So 10 ringgit divided by 2 hours, so you will get 5. 5 ringgit per hour. And for Z, you will get 6 ringgit per hour. After that, based on this, based on the contribution per limiting factor that you have, you rank it. Of course, if you are looking at the contribution, you will look into the highest contribution because the higher the contribution, the better it is. So in this case, you compare 2 ringgit, 5 ringgit, and 6 ringgit. So in this case, 6 ringgit is the highest one. So you put that as your first ranking. So product Z will be the first priority. The second one will be your product Y, and the last one will be your X. Why? Because X is the lowest contribution per limiting factor, that is 2. So it will be ranked the last. So step number 3 is you need to determine the most profitable mix, okay, out of your limited resources. In this case, you only have 1,200 hours. In total, you require just now, if you want to produce all the 3 products, then you need 1,800 hours. But now your resources is limited only up to 1,200 hours. So how are you going to produce your product? So in your product Z, you first choose the based on your ranking just now. Product Z is the highest ranking, so product Z should be produced first. Okay, so product Z should be produced first, and product Z require 1 hour per unit, and your sales demand is 200. So 200 times 1, you will get 200. So the total hours that you require to produce Z is 200 hours. So the balance out of the 1,200 that you have, so 1,200, the total hours that you have, 1,200 minus 200, you will get 1,000. Sorry. So 1,000 is the balance of our available hours. So next, the second in your ranking is product Y. Okay, product Y is the second in your ranking. So you will produce product Y. So product Y requires 2 hours per unit. So the demand for product Y is 200 units. So 200 units times 2 hours, you will get 400 hours. So you would just now you have 1,000 hours remaining. So out of that 1,000 hours, you require 400 for product Y. So 1,000 minus 400 gives you 600. Now you have 600 hours available. So the third in your ranking is product X just now. Product X is third in your ranking. So the remaining of that hours will be used to produce product X. So X requires 6 hours per unit. Now you only have with 600, okay? You only have with 600 hours. So 600 hours divided by 6, you can only produce 100 units of X instead of 200 the demand, okay? So 100 times 6, you will have 600. Therefore, 600 minus 600 gives you nil or 0. So based on this, how many units will you produce? So you will produce 200 units of Z, you will produce 200 units of Y, and you will produce 100 units of X. So next one is you need to find the total contribution of profit from the most profitable mix. So in this case, product Z, the contribution per unit just now is 6 ringgit times with your sales demand 200. So you will get 1,200 in product Y, second in your ranking just now. The contribution per unit is 10. Sales demand is 200. So 200 times 10, you've got 2,000. And product X is it contributes 12 ringgit per unit, and you only produce 100 of X. So 100 times 12 give you 1,200. So out of this, your total contribution is 4,400. Okay. If you are being given total fixed cost, then you minus your total fixed cost. So total contribution minus your total fixed cost give you your profit. Okay. So it depends on the question. If in this case, you will have a total contribution of 4,400 given the number of units of production that you have. So with that, I thank you.